Afternoon for SIAC football from Fairfield, Alabama. Sloan Alumni Stadium on the campus of Miles College, where the Golden Bears will lock up with the Clark Atlanta University Panthers on ESPN+. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Dwayne Walker, along with one of my favorite broadcast partners, Tanitra Batiste, bringing you the call. And Tanitra, what a difference a year can make after dipping your toe in the transfer portal. Miles College ended 2022 with a 1-9 record, and like a certain school near the Colorado Rockies, this team has already doubled its win total from last year and enters today's matchup with a 2-1 record, including a Week 2 upset over D1 Alabama State out of the SWAC.
Yeah, this season has definitely gotten off to a better start than last season for the Golden Bears. And after that upset of Alabama State, Miles almost pulled off another upset over Arkansas Pine Bluff, if not for a go-ahead touchdown callback in the final minute. So with the Golden Bears back in front of their home crowd for the first time in 3 weeks, expect them to be hungry to give this crowd a W.
On the other side of the coin, Willie Slater's CAU Panthers are limping in with an 0-3 record, coming off a tough 28-21 defeat to the Savannah State Tigers. This team, however, has been decimated by a rash of injuries, especially on the offensive side of the football.
Dwayne, that 0-3 record doesn't really tell the tale of what the Panthers can do, because they were definitely competitive in those games, but when they lost several key players during the season opener against Kentucky State, it definitely set the program back. Coach Slater told us the offense took a huge hit when just one guy from Kentucky State caused 3 of those injuries to the Panthers pass catchers. Ronnie West broke his leg. Javion Toney tore his ACL. Lonzie Tramble tore ligaments in his knee. Then Darren Stevens went down with a knee injury in the game against Fort Valley. So expect to see the Panthers' leading rusher, DeQuan Kinsey, have to carry the load to put points on the board.
And speaking of DeQuan Kinsey, let's take a look at some of our impact players for today's game. We'll start with CAU and running back DeQuan Kinsey and wide receiver Davion Newsom.
Number 6, Daquan Kinsey is the heart and soul of this Panthers offense. Kinsey ranks second in the SIAC with 6 touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns, and 1 receiving. And number 88, Davion Newsom, the wide receiver, has 14 catches for 182 yards and a touchdown so far this season.
For Miles College, quarterback Edwin Kleinpeter and tackle Jamichael Rogers on the defensive side of the football.
Number 12 has been efficient under center for Miles. Kleinpeter is 42 of 70 for 697 yards and 5 touchdowns and just 1 interception this year. Number 5, Jamichael Rogers leads the SIAC with 6 sacks.
All right, we're just moments away from the kick. As I mentioned, a spectacular afternoon for football. Sunny skies with temperatures in the mid-80s, a slight breeze in the air right now. Miles College will receive the football. They are wearing their black uniforms with purple numbers and gold trim. It'll be a challenge this afternoon to make those numbers out from our vantage point, but we'll take care of it. For the Clark Atlanta University Panthers, they're dressed in their white uniforms, red pants, and red numerals. They're all set. Teeing it up will be Fernando Lobo, number 40. You have a fine officiating crew. Nathan Pinkard will be our referee in charge this afternoon. All right, we're almost ready for football. Back deep for Miles, Jalen Peterson, and Kadarius Griffin. And we're underway. Taken at the 10, 20, and up to the 27-yard line. So 17 yards on that return. And we'll get our first look at the Miles College offense. First time they've been at home. They've been on 4 straight road games dating back to last year's season finale against Tuskegee, where they lost in double overtime, but it was a fine showing for Coach Sam Shade. Here comes Miles College, led by Edwin Kleinpeter. He's in the shotgun formation. Play action, throwing down the field, and that's going to sail incomplete.
And I was interested to see how Miles was going to come out on offense. Thought that maybe they would go with the run game, kind of be conservative and kind of figure some things out. But I do like Coach's stance with going after it right away with that long pass just outside of the reach of the receiver.
Second down and 10 from the 26-yard line. They hand to the first man through. That's Brandon Hicks. Small gain on the play, call it 4. Football up to the 30-yard line. Will bring up third down and 6. Miles College so far this season been proficient on third downs, 42%, 19 of 45 on the year. Kleinpeter waiting in the shot. He'll receive the football, standing in the pocket. Look, he throws, he's got a man. Caught by Brown, and Brown is going to skip up to the 41-yard line. Good enough for a first down. So there it is. 11-yard pass play. And correction, they're going to credit that catch to White, number 2.
I have to try to watch it this way.
Hicks once again up the middle on that first down carry. Call it 3, second down and 7 from the 44-yard line. Miles College comes into this game with a 2-1 record. We'll break that down here momentarily. Under duress is Kleinpeter. He fires and he's got a man. And that's a first down. Complete to White. So White with a couple of early catches.
And so far, the Golden Bears O-line has been standing up to allow Kleinpeter to get that kind of leverage to pass. But when you look at what Coach Slater said, one of the things they want to do is not give away or give up too many of those big plays.
First down and 10 at the 42-yard line of Clark. Play action. Kleinpeter will dump the football off. It's complete, 35-30. And down to, let's see where they'll mark it. They're going to mark the football at the 25-yard line. So a 17-yard reception. That went to Trevante Abner, the tight end. And it's another Miles College first down. They have it. First and 10. 24-yard line. That's Jay Andrews with the reception. And he will squirm down to about the 18. So this offense moving quite nicely for Miles College. 5 yards on the play. They'll place it at the 19. Second and 5. Handoff there. Looks like Frazier on the carry. Minimal gain. Now I have a couple of substitutions. And they credit Hicks on that last carry. Aaron Frazier will check into the ball game in the backfield on this third and short. They've got a full backfield there with 3 running backs in the backfield. Kleinpeter, play action. He's under duress. He keeps the football down to the 10, 5. Quarterback keeper, Edwin Kleinpeter. Touchdown, Miles College.
And the Golden Bears were aggressive this entire drive, this opening drive for them. And you look there, and like you said, you had the backfield with 3 running backs, looks like play action, but the play broke down, and just as Clark was bringing that pressure, Kleinpeter takes off, gets a couple key blocks from his Golden Bears, and he is off to the races, and why not dive in for that first score of the day?
Absolutely, and for Kleinpeter, first rushing touchdown on the season. He came in with 70 yards rushing on the year. After the extra point, Miles College leads it by a score of 7-0 over CAU. We'll be back with more action. You're watching SIAC football on ESPN. And welcome back in, Dwayne Walker along with Tanisha Batiste. With just 3 minutes and 50 seconds gone in the first period, Miles scores on the very first drive on a running touchdown by quarterback Edwin Klein-Peter.
You said Jude in the back? Brian. Jude in the back?
Miles Troy will tee the football off. And there it goes. That football is fumbled there. Now picked up. It's Billy Johnson, and Johnson is going to be swarmed under near the goal line. And let's see, what did they rule there? Where's the football?
Number 28, Billy Johnson.
Still not sure where they marked that. They're going to spot that at the 3. So we'll get our first look at the CAU offense. They're led by their quarterback this afternoon, Andrew Banks, 6'1" sophomore out of Atlanta, Georgia. Benjamin E. Mays High School.
And Dwayne, when we spoke with Coach Shade a couple days ago, the two things that he wanted out of the gates was for the offense to score and special teams to impact this game. And obviously, special teams, great job back in Clark Atlanta, deep into their own territory.
Daquan Kensey is the threat for this CAU ball club on offense. Did they get the football out of the end zone? Yes, they did. They may have lost 2 yards on that play. It was 1st and 10 from the 3. So mark it at the 1 yard line. So loss of 2 brings up 2nd down and 12.
And the swarm of Golden Bears right at the end zone line. Interesting, it does look like it was near safety. It looks like now they're marking it at the half-yard line.
Tanisha, the glare this afternoon, the glare is extraordinary. Let me just say that. Can't wait till dusk comes, if you will.
Oh, yeah. This is what we say back home. Someone must have done something to make Mr. Sun mad. And we're...
Daquan Kensey on the carry. Scoots up near the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at about the 8. So that's a 6-yard carry. It'll still bring up 3rd down and 4 for the CAU Panthers. Had an opportunity to talk to their offensive coordinator, Sidney Moncrief, who says he's just looking for consistency from this CAU offense. Trying to take it play by play, but looking for consistency. CAU so far this season, 26.6% on 3rd down, 8 of 30. Let's see if they can convert here. Wimberly comes back, the tight end. Now play action, rolling off to the right is Banks. Banks throws across his body. The pass is incomplete. A little too low. Looking for his tight end on the play, Jaden Jackson, the 6'2" junior out of Stockton. It'll bring up a 4th down. And the Panthers will have to punt. Excuse me, Tanisha.
And the Golden Bears brought the rush at that time and kind of forced Banks to get that ball out of his hands sooner than he wanted to. Good 3 and out from the Golden Bears defense, and they'll have good field position, should have good field position on this punt.
Claudio Quintanilla will do the punting for CAU, standing in his end zone. Snap off, and it's going to be blocked. That football was blocked, and it's going to be recovered. Well, either way, it will be Miles College football. But you've got to credit the Miles College special teamers as Jeremiah Sumrall, the linebacker, the senior linebacker out of Silver Creek, Mississippi, came up with that block. But guess what? Because that football was advanced past the 1st down marker and recovered by CAU on the 20-yard line, the end result is a 1st down for CAU. So how about that? So the punt gets blocked by Summerall, but during the skirmish, Miles touches the football, and after that point, it becomes a free ball, and CAU recovers at the 20-yard line, which goes past the 1st down marker. So they'll resume play, 1st down and 10 at their own 20. That's a situation, Tanisha, where the ball bounces your way.
I was just thinking the same thing, Dwayne, and especially important because there hasn't been a lot of consistency in the kicking game for the Panthers. They've had snaps over the punter's head the last couple of weeks, so important for them to be able to recover and continue this drive.
They've been working on both the punting game and the kicking game. Coach Slater has brought in John Fulkerson, who's the kicking coach. That name might sound familiar, John Fulkerson. Both he and Coach Slater coached at Troy State back in the day, as they say. 6 yards by Kinsey. And speaking of sixes, he's scored 6 touchdowns on the season so far. Good for second in the SIAC. They hand that football off to Kinsey again this time. May have been lucky to get back to the original line of scrimmage, which is the 24-yard line. Darren Martin checks into the game as one wide receiver for the CAU Panthers. David Martin, 5'7" junior out of Detroit, Michigan. He'll line up on the far side. Davion Newsom, far right. They've got twin receivers. There's a high snap, but recovered there by Banks. Banks rolling to his left. He throws, and it's going to be ruled an incomplete pass. So, after 6 consecutive opportunities, brings up another 4th down. Quintanilla will come in for CAU to do the punting. Jacquel Fells is back deep for the Miles College Golden Bears. 7 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Miles College leads it by a score of 7-0. Taken there by Fells, and Fells is going to call a fair catch. 30 yards on that punt by Quintanilla, just 4 yards beneath his season average. And this is where Miles College will take over the football. So, Tanisha, what have you observed so far? What are your impressions?
I think this is one where Miles is taking advantage of every opportunity that they get. Clark Atlanta with their offense, of course. Clark Atlanta's offense is just a little bit stifled. They had an opportunity there, getting the ball back off the blocked punt and couldn't do anything with that. So another 3 and out for them.
Brandon Hicks in the backfield for Miles College as they start this drive. First down and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Kleinpeter will turn. He'll hand. And Hicks will muscle his way up near midfield before being tackled by a host of CAU Panthers. Let's go ahead and set these starters. Why not? Starters for both of these units. For Miles College, Edwin Kleinpeter, as we mentioned. Brandon Hicks, the running back, the wideouts. Very talented groups. Jay Andrews, Christopher Brown, and newcomer Jordan Pollard. Speaking of Pollard, he's wide open, but he gets overshot there by Kleinpeter. Jordan Pollard had his man beat along the near sideline, but Kleinpeter could not make the connection.
And Kleinpeter has, again, great coverage, great support from his O-line, and then he throws that ball. It is overthrown, but one of the things I like is the mix that I'm seeing from what Sam Shade is calling for the Golden Bears. It gives him an opportunity on first down to run. You get 5 yards, and then have an opportunity on second to go down the field with play action. Let's see what they call on third.
Third down from the midfield stripe. No hand, but short of the first down. Hicks carries that football. Putting his head in there for Clark Atlanta, Jerome Wallace, the 6'4" sophomore from Miami. And rapidly brings up another 4th down, so it seems like both teams exchanging 4th downs here.
Nice stop on the part of the Panthers defense here. Let's see if the special teams for Golden Bears works out once again, maybe getting them back in the shadow of their own end zone once again.
Roderick Smith is in to do the punting for Miles College. There's the boot. It's a high, short punt, but it takes a friendly roll, and it's going to roll right into the end zone. So it ends up being a 47-yard boot. And with 6 minutes and 7 seconds to play in our first quarter, Miles College leads the CAU Panthers by a score of 7-0. Stay tuned.
Did you know HBCUs are a great place to network? Yes. Did you know Cricket has a great network with speedy 5G and is a proud supporter of HBCUs?
Yes.
Mia, everybody already knows that.
Dante, did you know this is an A and B conversation? So you need to see yourself act. He knows now.
You join the HBCU family. You become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
Welcome back in, everyone. Dwayne Walker along with Tanisha Batiste. You're watching SIAC football on ESPN+. You're going to look at one of our fabulous bands here this afternoon. The Miles College Purple Marching Machine. You're going to look at the CAU Panthers. And they are gathering at the 20-yard line. So far, the first down story, Miles College has 4 compared to CAU's 1. CAU with 23 yards rushing so far compared to Miles's 46 yards.
We are seeing from both teams a good mix of plays between passing and rushing, so it'll be interesting to see where this drive starts or how this drive starts for Clark Atlanta.
As I was going to say, Tanisha, it's starting at the 20-yard line. First down and 10. Banks going for the downs, looking for his guy, and just out of the reach of Davion Newsom. Newsom is out of Stockbridge, Georgia. He played under Coach Clark at the Stockbridge High School football program in Stockbridge, Georgia. And it brings up second down.
Banks overshot his receiver a little bit there, but I like the aggressiveness on that first down. This is the kind of thing we're going to have to see from Clark Atlanta in order for them to move the ball down the field and punch it in.
We'll get a little more into Newsom's story here as the game progresses. Second down handoff, and gains very little yardage as Jamichael Rogers in on that tackle of Kinsey. And now we'll have a substitution as a helmet popped off. Gradarius Brown has to come out of the game for a play. And here we are again, Tanisha, with a third down. Third down and 9 from the 20-yard line. Let's see if Banks will try to hit Wimberly here in the slot. He's in the left slot. Martin out wide. Banks has it. He looks, he tosses. Newson with that big frame goes up, but the play is broken up. Johnny Blackman did a nice job of disrupting that pass and caused the incompletion.
And disrupting it just long enough for the receiver to kind of second-guess himself. The ball's right there. That's a catchable ball, but I think he could feel the defender coming for him.
Well, Blackman fought through the receiver's hands. Is what you are taught to do. And so it'll bring up another punt. Claudio is out to do the punting for CAU. High snap. He gets it off, however. And it's going to be fair caught at the 36-yard line. So it's a 44-yard punt. And the Miles College Golden Bears will take over the football right from there. And let's dive back into this Miles College program. 1-9 last year, but Tenitra, they've turned things around so far this year. They've played a history in 5 meetings and lost by 1 against Arkansas Pine Bluff just last week in a game they actually should have won.
Absolutely. There was a touchdown right there, was the go-ahead touchdown, but unfortunately in those final minutes of that game, that touchdown was called back. Otherwise, these Golden Bears would be 3-0.
They also had an unfortunate turnover on a fumble. But once again, first down and 10 for the 37. Excuse me, Tanisha, go ahead.
And that's one of the things Coach Shea talked about as well, limiting the turnovers and winning the turnover battle as well. And so far, it's been a clean game on the part of the Golden Bears.
4 yards on that carry. Frazier exploding up the gut. Frazier down to the 42-yard line. So how about it for Frazier on a 17-yard scamper? They're running back by committee since Gennaro Scott, the starter, the regular starter, is out injured.
And you love to see him getting through that A gap, getting to the second level, and then being able to get some chunk yardage for Miles.
First down for Miles College at the 43-yard line of CAU. Klein Peter from shotgun formation. And now we've got some activity. It's a free play for the guys in black. And it's going to be an encroachment against the defense, I would presume, right here. First time, I believe, we are hearing from our head referee, Nathan Pinkert. So one thing you can't have, that's penalties. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. Both of these teams, if you want to be honest, not that bad in the penalty category so far this year. Klein Peter, back, throws, it's got a man, it's caught! 5, touchdown!
Klein Peter got a man, Klein Peter had the arm, Klein Peter gets the touchdown for Miles. That is none other than Deontez White, the junior wide receiver from Jackson, Mississippi, catching a 38-yard touchdown pass. Miles Troy in for the try. Snap, hold, place, kick is up and through the uprights. And with 3 minutes and 51 seconds to play in the first frame, our score, Miles College Golden Bears 14, the CAU Panthers nothing. You're watching SIAC football on ESPN+.
And we're back on the campus of Miles College with our score. Golden Bears 14, Panthers nothing. That last Miles College scoring drive, 4 plays, 63 yards, 38-yard touchdown pass, Edwin Kleinpeter to Deontez White.
And more importantly, the 14-0. More importantly, the 14-0 lead that Miles has already is the exact fast start that Sam Shade was looking to see, because they had to battle back in the 2 wins and losses to come back and get those wins and almost get the win in that third game. So let's see if Clark Atlanta is able to answer back.
For Kleinpeter, he's been responsible for both touchdowns today. The touchdown run, as well as that 38-yard touchdown pass. And for Kleinpeter, that's his 6th touchdown pass on the season. And they get a look at the back man for CAU, standing back there. Howard. That football's going to be taken to the goal line. Up to the 10, 15, and upended at the 17-yard line. So Stephen Bivens on that return, and now we have a couple of players laid out at the 12-yard line. There's a violent collision down there. And the training staff, let's see where the training staff will come out for Miles College. Miles College and their head trainer, Chris Hall. Yeah, I see Chris Hall there. He's got his, what do you call those Gilligan hats he's got on? You know, what do you call those hats?
Yeah, those are the ones that keep all that sun that's killing us out of your eyes.
I wish our viewers at home could just see what our vantage point is like when it's like we're looking into the sun trying to call the game. All right, nonetheless, first down and 10 for the CAU Panthers at their own 18-yard line. Banks still the quarterback. Pass over the far seam. Incomplete. Intended for Newsom. Tight coverage on the far side of the field.
Yeah, and you can see the Golden Bears sniffed that out pretty easily. A little blitz there just to get the quarterback off his timing. Banks and just missed his receiver.
And that's secondary, a very experienced group led by Darius Brown, Jamarius Brown as well. And then we got a couple of newcomers in Cameron Hall and Jeffrey Scott. Speaking of newcomers, you want to know one of the reasons why the Miles College Golden Bears have had an opportunity to turn things around. As we mentioned at the front, Tanisha, they dipped their feet into that portal, and they've got several starters on both sides of the ball that come via the portal.
Yeah, and it's really good for them. Like you said, Edwin Kleinpeter being one of them, Jeffrey Scott, one of their safeties, Kadarius Griffin. So, yeah, they really have had some success in getting quality players from the transfer portal. And even getting some of their older players back, like Jadarius McNeely, best linebacker. He was out of football for a couple of years, came back to Miles in the spring.
Pass is complete over the middle. Newsom with the outstretched arms, and he comes up with the football. They're going to place it at the 39-yard line. That's a 20-yard pass play.
And that was a really, really good response from Clark Atlanta. A little bit of a bobble snap. Banks was able to reel it back in and move the chains for the Panthers.
So, first down for CAU. They finally moved the chains. Wimberly, the wide receiver, to the near side of the football field. 2-back set. Banks will hand to Kensey. Kensey trying the left-hand side. Kensey cuts it back, and he's going to be sawed down over there. Minimal gain. Actually, they're going to give him 3 yards on that play. Kensey's a tough runner. had an opportunity to talk to the young man before the game. He says Derrick Henry is one of his favorites. He had a very impressive touchdown run last week against Arkansas Pine Bluff where I started to say spunt, where he spinned and twirled and fought guys off into the end zone on a 30-yard touchdown play. Second down pass attempt, trying for Newsett again. Sails incomplete over the arms.
Banks pass incomplete. Sitting on the play for Miles College.
And that incomplete pass puts the Panthers in position for another 3rd and long.
The ball gets spotted at the court at
But they are having success with their own play action calls, so let's see if they go that route here.
Surprised that we haven't seen Banks use his legs so far, the 6'1" football player. Near side of the field to Kensey, and Kensey is going to be tackled at about the 45-yard line. Cut down on the play by Jeffrey Scott. That's one of the newcomers we talked about. Jeffrey Scott, he's a graduate student out of Vicksburg, Mississippi. And ironically enough, he played at Alabama State last year. It seems like these Miles College players that come from Alabama State, they have big games, especially against their alma mater.
Yeah, a little bit of get back might be the motivation there.
Last year, Brundage had a huge afternoon, had something like 3 sacks or something crazy against his former team. And an opening day loss to Alabama State. All right, on the 4th down, the punt is going to go down to the 20-yard line. And it's going to end up being a 33-yard punt. And that's where the offense for Miles College will take over the football. There you can look at our score, 14-0. Just 22 ticks of the clock remaining in this first frame. Hope you're enjoying the ball game so far. Dwayne Walker along with Tanisha Batiste. And we're going to get our first look this afternoon at Jamari Riley, the 5'8" freshman from Columbus. On this first down play, 1st down and 10 from the 17-yard line. There's the handoff and finding the way up to the 23-yard line. Let's credit 5 yards on that run as I thought the clock was going to continue to run. They were showing 13 seconds. I don't know why the clock is stopped. Now they've rebooted it, and it's out of the way, 6-5. There won't be any other plays. So both teams will walk to the other side of the football field. And we're going to take a break. That's the end of the first quarter of play with our score, Miles College 14, CAU nothing. You're watching SIAC football. Second quarter play just moments away. Dwayne Walker along with Tanisha Batiste. Hope you're enjoying our broadcast. SIAC football action with the 2-1 Miles College Golden Bears taking on the 0-3 CAU Panthers. Miles College has the football. Second down and 5. And there's movement. And a flag is down. It'll be an illegal procedure against the offense, so that'll move them back 5 yards. It'll bring up second down and 10.
That's the first penalty on Miles' offense of the day. So they're going to have a first and 10. This is one of their longer first and 10s, obviously, because of that penalty, but still decent position as far as what they've been able to do today.
Twin receivers to the bottom of the formation and one to the top. I think they want the band to stop playing. And they stop right on cue. Second down and 10. Klein Peter waiting. Klein Peter looking. Klein Peter throwing. Klein Peter has the football dropped. Wide open. Thought it was going to be a connection. But unfortunately, the wide receiver could not haul that football in. That's Kadarius Griffin, the 5'11 redshirt sophomore from Millport, Alabama, just simply flat out dropped the football.
Yeah, because the ball pretty much hit the numbers. And for the Golden Bears, they've had, of course, a fantastic first quarter, 75 passing yards. So let's see if they can get play action going on this play as well.
Third down and 10. Klein Peter, near side pass, caught to Jay Andrews. And that's going to be a first down if it's ruled a catch. And is it a catch? It is. They're moving the chains. First down, Miles College. Well, wait a minute. Wait. If they're placing that can't be a first down. Because, wait. The football's, they've marked it at the 29-yard line. I don't see how that happened. But anyway, here we go. Complete to Pollard.
And I don't think Miles wanted them to double-check that, Dwayne, because they moved right on.
Tanisha, I'm trying to figure out how that was ruled a first down when it was third down and 10 from the 20. Okay.
Looks like it was from the, I think they marked it at the 19, so.
That's why I'm up here.
Yeah.
Klein Peter on the second and short. He throws near side of the field, and it's ruled an incomplete pass. Looking for Griffin along the near sideline. They're saying that he caught the football out of bounds. Third down and short. This Miles College offense has scored a couple of times already. Klein Peter on the quarterback keeper. And then on a 38-yard connection to Deontez White. And now with the slick cadence, he tried to draw him off, but instead illegal procedure against the offense. Here's Nathan Pinkard with the call, but now the officials are going to gather. We've got Brian Lewis, the linesman, John Hefney, so they are going to call it on the offense. They're going to assess it to Ty Lowry. And wow, what a story for Ty Lowry. Here's a young man that he's the emotional leader of this offense. He missed all of last year because of a little hiccup, but still practiced with the team every day. So great to see him back. Third down and 7. Klein Peter near side. And it's caught. And it's going to be ruled a first down. Griffin once again on the catch. So he's got a couple of catches along that near side. And this one is going to be good for 9 yards and a first down.
And this is one of those where quick snap for Klein Peter. He takes advantage of the Panthers Panthers defense that wasn't quite set, especially in the secondary. And they're able to, once again, Golden Bears are able to move the chains.
Jamari Raleigh on that carry, but unfortunately he lost his balance. He tripped down the 41-yard line, and he actually lost a yard. So it'll be second down and 11. The CAU Panthers defense gets exposed right there. As that football is caught by Abner. And Abner is going to cross the 50-yard line down to about the 41. So they go from 141 to the other 41. That's 18 yards in my book. First and 10 for Miles College at the 41-yard line of CAU. And they are threatening. Klein Peter, hands, 35. Riley down to the 25-yard line. 16-yard outburst by Jamari Riley. He was a leading ball carrier last week against Pine Bluff with 68 yards.
And back-to-back explosive plays by Miles. And that's one of those situations, Dwayne, where the pass actually is setting up the run.
Jamari Riley, as I mentioned last week, he had 17 carries for 63 yards, including a touchdown. He's making his presence felt in this one again. First and 10 from the 25. Klein Piper's got a man over the middle. Touchdown! Klein Peter does it.
And you can see on that play, once again, Klein Peter gets a great block, play action, and the Bears have been taking advantage of a wide open middle all afternoon. Once again, they are in the end zone and find themselves up big to start this second quarter.
Kevin Robertson, the tight end who made that touchdown grab, missed all of last year due to an injury, and he was out the whole year. The 6'3" junior out of Austell Jr. Out of Austell, Georgia, and he is exuberant along the sidelines. And after the extra point, the Miles College Golden Bears, they explode to a 21-0 lead over CAU. Let's take a quick timeout.
Georgia Power is here with a little reminder of how easy it is to save energy at home. Because it's often as simple as a twist. Or as easy as a lift. It could be a little squeeze. Or maybe just a pull. These small changes can make a big difference, helping you save energy for the bigger things in life. Visit GeorgiaPower.com for tips and programs to help save energy and money.
Did you know HBCUs are a great place to network? Did you know Cricket has a great network with speedy 5G and is a proud supporter of HBCUs?
Yes.
Mia, everybody already knows that.
Dante, did you know this is an A and B conversation? So you need to see yourself out. He knows now.
HBCUs are anchored by legacy. They nurture the talent and determination of their students and prepare them for a bright future. The Home Depot's Retool Your School program has and still believes in the excellence of HBCUs, committed not just in speech, but through the revitalization and upgrades of the campuses these students call home. Building, planting, tilling the dream, all hearts and countless volunteers on the ground. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
When you join the HBCU family, you become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
12 minutes and 1 second remaining in the half. Miles College already with 21 points. Tanitra, this offense has exploded so far in this one. Doing it on the ground, doing it in the air, doing it however you want it.
And they're just taking complete advantage of the secondary. Jacavius Lee got caught sleeping on that last drive, and it cost Clark big.
7th touchdown pass on the year. And this one a 26-yarder to Kevin Robertson. His first touchdown of the campaign. That football taken at the 3-yard line. Bivens up to the 15, 20. There's a flag down. And in the area of holding. And now we have some not fisticuffs, some pushing and shoving going on at the 28-yard line. In on that scrum, Omar Haynes, the freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida. Now the officials will confer at the 34-yard line, and white hat Nathan Pinkert will render his decision. As we mentioned before, coming into this one, both teams doing a nice job so far this season controlling the penalties, as we hear from Nathan Pinkert right now. So you can't have that if you're Miles College. That's a silly penalty right there.
Yeah, that's a break that you don't want to give Clark Atlanta, putting them almost at midfield. This is the opportunity that the Golden Bears have to really, really put their foot on the gas on defense.
So, CAU with the football, 1st down and 10 from their 40-yard line, looking to get on the board. Here's a handoff, off to the right-hand side, and booming ahead is Kinsey up to the 47-yard line, correction, and we have a new quarterback in the game. Heath Williams will get his shot. Heath Williams is a 6-foot graduate student out of Clarksville, Tennessee. 21 of 33 on the year for 249 yards and a touchdown. He transferred from Eddie George's program at Tennessee State.
And on that last play, you love what Kinsey did because it gives Clark an opportunity to finally be on the good side when it comes to down and distance.
Kinsey works near the 1st down. He's going to be marked just shy of it. They're going to mark it at the 49-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 1. And needless to say, Tanitra, this is going to be 2-down territory for the CAU Panthers. I mean, what do they have to lose? They're down 21-0. They're 0-3 on the season. And if you can't get a half a yard on 2 consecutive plays, something's wrong.
Yeah, and as quiet as this Clark Atlanta offense has been, their defense is the reason that Miles is up 21-0. And the reason I mention that is because, like you said, you want to get the 1 yard and move the chains, but you don't want to give the ball back to Miles.
He turns, he hands, and it's going to be a 1st down carry. Good piece of running by Kinsey. Kinsey just leans forward and gets that 1st down.
And right now, Coach Slater just showing that he has the confidence in his offense to be able to get it done and get this ball in Miles' territory.
3 yards on that carry they're going to give him. 37 yards so far in the first half rushing by CAU. In this second quarter, the Panthers made a quarterbacking change. Andrew Banks started the game, but he was replaced by Heath Williams. Williams over the middle. It's caught. Wimberly, 40. Tries to juke a man, but can't. Down to the 37-yard line. Nonetheless, it's going to be a 12-yard completion for the CAU Panthers, and finally they've got some momentum going. So they're going to give him 13 yards actually on that. They're going to mark it at the 36. So from the 49 to the 36, 13-yard pass play. So Williams is giving this offense the spark it has needed. And the Panthers are now in Golden Bears territory. First out and 10 at the 36-yard line. Williams has it. He will hand to the first man going through, which is Joseph Douglas getting his first action this afternoon, the 5'6" junior out of Columbus, Georgia. Small piece, maybe 2 yards on that try. 2nd and 8. 23-yard line. And the officials will confer. Here you get a look at the group shot there. Where's that white cap? Well, another personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, and I know Coach Sam Shade can't be happy about that because these are controllable penalties. And even though you're up 21-0, you still want to focus.
Yeah, and this is one of those opportunities that I want to see the Panthers take advantage of. They're now in the high red zone. I feel like they need to go to the end zone for this one.
Joseph Douglas in at running back for the CAU Panthers. They are in the red zone, as you mentioned, Tanitra. So far this year, they are 7 of 9 in the red zone. 9 opportunities, 7 touchdowns. Let's see if they can convert on this occasion. Twin wide receivers to the top and bottom of the formation. Williams throws. He's got a man, and it's in and out of the hands. Thought it was going to be a completion, but the receiver could not hold on.
Yeah, that's one of those where Kendall Wimberly has to get that ball. It's just what I thought should have been called on first down. You go long. He beat his man just enough. That ball's right there on the numbers. No reason he shouldn't have that touchdown.
Wimberly couldn't come up with the catch. Wimberly will now line up far side of the football field. Newsom near side. Williams to Kensey. Kensey keeps those legs driving. And he'll gain 2. And once again, it's a 3rd down. As we get a look at the replay.
And when you look at that, Kensey gets some yards there, but it's a tough 2 yards. And now clock is facing a 3rd and long. And this will be an interesting call on this 3rd down because, like we've said, they're still in 4th down territory if they can't convert here.
Williams asks Wimberlin to stretch out wide, and he does. Let's see if they go to Newsom along the near side here, the big target. That pass misfires, intended for Wimberly. Wimberly has his hands out like, were you throwing that one to me? And he was. Unfortunately, it was not a connection.
Yeah, you can see there all the way Heath Williams is going for it, but there's a miscommunication there between the wide receiver core and the quarterback on that play. And it looks like Clark is just going to take the 3 points to get on the board.
Coming in, Fernando Lobo. We're going to spot it at the 25-yard line, so it'll be a 35-yard attempt by Lobo. He's 1 of 1 on the season so far. He hit on a 23-yarder. This one, they muff. Williams has to throw the football away, and it's going to be a loss of downs. Wow. You do not want to have those errors. Wantavius Conley is the new long snapper as he replaced King, who did it previously, number 99, but they had a bunch of issues last week in their game against Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yeah, snaps going over the head. It's just been tough on special teams for Clark Atlanta all along, and that was a missed opportunity just to get some points on the board.
And they have been working at it, Tanitra. I attended yesterday's walkthrough over at CAU, and John Fulkerson, the kicking coach, along with Juantavius Conley, the long snapper, the 5'9" freshman, they were working on it along the side. So it's definitely a new thing, a new connection for them, and just trying to get the timing of it all down. But special teams has certainly been an issue over the course of the last couple of weekends.
Yeah, because you look at that last drive, and that was the first opportunity where Clark was able to sustain a drive and get that deep into Miles territory. It's been kickoff, punt, kickoff. It's been just a really tough day for them, and time of possession hasn't been in their favor either.
And speaking of time of possession, it really hasn't been an issue of time of possession for the CAU Panthers because, believe it or not, they've dominated their opponents in that category. They average 135 as far as possession is concerned overall this season in 3 games. Kleinpeter is going to be sacked. He swarmed under. Jerome Wallace got home and records a quarterback sack. First time we've seen Kleinpeter go down, and that's a sizable loss.
And that's a great call by the Panthers to bring pressure when you see Miles in the shadow of their own end zone, which is the deepest Miles has been on their side of the 50 all day.
And that's going to be a 10-yard loss, 10-yard sack, just the second on the season. Here's a delayed handoff, and bouncing off runners is the running back. How about it, Brandon Hicks showing extraordinary determination on that carry.
And what a nice stop on the dime, a little juke right there. And he was just determined to stay on his feet and continue to get yards after the carry.
19 yards on that run. No, correction, 20 yards. They're going to give him a first down. First down and 10 from the 27-yard line. Kleinpeter looks, throws. He's got a man, and it's caught by Pollard along the near sideline. And he's stopped by Ivy. Ivy pushed him out of bounds. But nonetheless, it's going to be another Miles College Golden Bears first down.
And Pollard working really hard on that play to keep his feet so that he could catch the ball and the Golden Bears could move the chains.
10-yard passing play. The running back this time is spun around in the wash. Getting in on that tackle, it looked like a Darius Barron, the junior from Barnesville, Georgia. Pickup of 2, second down out at 8. Kleinpeter, quarterback keeper. Kleinpeter, upended. Slicing him down was Malik Jackson, the 5'11" freshman out of Tallahassee.
And that's one where there was clearly a design in RPO, and Kleinpeter takes advantage, runs to his right, gets some really, really good blocks, and now has Miles back near midfield.
9-yard ground gained on that one. First down and 10 from the 48-yard line for Kleinpeter and the Golden Bears. He turns, he hands, and fighting past the mid-stripe. And we get our first look at Roderick Thomas at the running back position. And Thomas will check out. We'll call it 3 yards on that gain. Second down and 7 from the CAU 49-yard line. 4 minutes, 14 seconds to play. 21-0 our score, Golden Bears. Complete pass, far side of the field. And it's going to be for another Golden Bears first down. As they throw the old bubble screen.
And the Panthers secondary just really, really having a tough time this afternoon with these wide receivers, these Miles wide receivers. Whether it's a short pass, a bubble screen like you said, or deep down the field, they're just getting everything they want.
Klein Peter on his first down attempt. Near side to Pollard. Pollard catches, turns, and is driven out of bounds at the 27-yard line. So that's a 14-yard pickup. I've been impressed how this Miles College offense has matriculated the football down the field. They're going to mark it at the 28, so check that. That'll be a 13-yard gain. But a first down nonetheless. First down and 10 from the 28-yard line.
And one of the great things about how Miles is able to move this ball, especially in the passing game, you've gotten 6 receivers
Double
catching.
pass. Double pass there, and it's caught for a touchdown. They're raising the roof. How about it?
It
On
looks
a
like
double
Jay
pass.
Andrews.
That was gorgeous. Watch in motion is Klein Peter finds Hicks, who tosses the football down the field into the end zone to Jay Andrews for a touchdown.
And Andrew Bledsoe could have been called for pass interference on that, so you got to give Andrews a lot of credit for being able to haul that ball in and put Miles back on the board.
Wow, they really went to the playbook there. They went to the trickery, and as a result, it comes up snake eyes. Offensive coordinator Jamal Fobbs has this offense going. They lead at 28-0 heading into the break.
The Gary Burrows Golf Tournament will happen October 16th.
Well, what a change here as the Miles College Golden Bears, they're looking to take a 28-0 lead into halftime. The past couple of games, they've been the ones trailing at halftime, 14-0 in consecutive games against Alabama State and then again against Arkansas Pine Bluff. And we talked to Coach Shea talking about how he wanted to be consistent in getting off to a fast start, Tenitra.
Absolutely. Like you said, they found themselves down the first 3 games of the season and had to really battle back, and he wanted them to really set the tone, and Miles' offense has indeed set the tone. Clark Atlanta had an opportunity to get on the board in their last drive, but unfortunately couldn't get the field goal to go through. 7 points. Miles marches right down the field, so Clark has got to get something going before halftime.
Torrey Miles kicks that one back deep for his 4th touchback of the year, so he put a lot of boot into that one. Torrey Miles Torrey taking over for Brady Spradlin, who has graduated. Actually, was a graduate student last year when he played. And he certainly picked up where Spradlin left off. So let's see if the CAU Panthers can shake the cobwebs off and get into the scoring column here. CAU, they come in with a total of 58 points on the season through 3 games. So that's 19.3 points per contest. Williams, the quarterback. Kinsey, 30, 35, 40, size up to man, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, trying to get there. And he brushes off a man. Derrick Henry's now down to the 2-yard line. Whoa, my. In all, that's going to be credited as a 73-yard pass play. As we get a look at the highlight as Daquan Kinsey takes the football on a 73-yard jaunt. Unfortunately, however, we have an official down, and we're going to take care of him at this point as they try to help him up. This is the first time I've ever said this in a game. Let me see if I can get, not a number, let me see if I can get a letter, Tenitra.
Yeah, let's see what happened on that play as far as the official goes. Now, as far as Kinsey goes, he sees the hole, cuts back, and then it's off to daylight and
watch that
stutter step. Beautiful. And then he just takes off, and it's really one little trip up right there. That probably saved the touchdown. And then, of course,
the Derrick Henry, though, right there. Do you see the Derrick Henry? When he did the Derrick Henry, that's when he lost his balance.
Yeah. Leave that to Derrick Henry to do Derrick Henry things.
And now this is where things get intricate as Nathan Pinkart, the Whitecap, seeing how the officials adjust. John Hefney is the official that was hurt, the umpire, and he's had to check out of the game. First time I've ever had to say, let me check a letter. CAU Panthers are going for 2. Touchdowns, I should say, from the 2. And nothing doing. I see some helmets coming off, which means the player will have to leave the field. And Tanisha, they marked that football at the 5-yard line. So that was a 70-yard carry by Daquan Kinsey. Small gain of 1 yard. They're going to place it at the 2-yard line. So we'll say a gain of 3, actually. 2nd and goal from the 3. Williams is under center. He took over at quarterback from Andrew Branks after the first quarter of play. We've got Kinsey and Douglas in the background. They're going to hand to Douglas. Douglas tried to find running room, but he can't. He is swarmed under by that front of the Golden Bears. And they are a stacked front indeed. They have the likes of Jamichael Rogers and Rock Dowdell, Zion Sharp, among others. But it seemed like they had the goal line package in on that one. And with 1 minute and 18 seconds left, with Miles College leading it by a score of 28-0. They have really come out of the gate impressed, doing it on all phases. And just a recap, Miles got on the board first in the first quarter thanks to a quarterback keeper by Edwin Kleinpeter, a 16-yard run, his first of the year, that made the score 7-0. Then Kleinpeter came back the next possession and found Deontez White on a 38-yard connection to make the score 14-0. Let's fast forward into the second quarter, where Kleinpeter once again threw his second touchdown of the game, a 24-yard effort to tight end Kevin Robertson, his first touchdown of the season to make the score 21-0. And then this last score, a little bit of trickery. A 24-yard touchdown pass, or correction, 28-yard pass. Aaron Frazier to Jay Andrews on the double pass to make the score 28-0, and that's where we stand. Third down. They give it to Kinsey. Kinsey fighting, trying to get near the goal line. They're going to say that he's ruled down, and it's going to bring up fourth down. And needless to say, I would imagine they'll go for it on fourth down here.
And Kinsey has had a lot of success running to his right today, so I think it would be good for them to go ahead. They don't have anything to lose at this point. Go for it on fourth and goal and maybe be able to take a little bit of momentum into halftime.
Fascinating conversation with Daquan Kinsey before the contest. He talked to me about some of his heroes, if you will, some of the people that he looked up to. And for sure, Derrick Henry was one who he cited as being one of his favorites. He's a bruising running back, is Kinsey.
Bruising indeed. And just like Derrick Henry, got a little speed when he needs it, and he's able to take some players with him. He can stop on a dime and had some really good cuts on his last run on that 70-yard run. So hopefully for the Panthers, they'll be able to punch it in right there inside the one.
Even in 3 losses, Tanitra, Kinsey scored a couple of touchdowns in game 1 at the Labor Day Classic against Kentucky State. He followed that up in game number 3 against Savannah State with an 18 for 84-yard effort and 1 touchdown. Fourth down, and let's see, do we have movement? And timeout is going to be called by Sam Shade and the Miles College Golden Bears. Well, Tanisha, I got to admit, I was going to try to get through one broadcast without mentioning the word prime time or Deion Sanders, but it's almost impossible. Right?
Oh, it is absolutely, absolutely. You and I asked a question. In fact, I got to give you credit because you asked a question of Coach Slater, and man, did we get some wonderful nuggets. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to get through this broadcast without sharing some of those nuggets, some real good stuff on Coach Deion Sanders.
Coach Slater really opened up about some of the experiences that he had with him. He talked about being friends with Mickey Andrews, having coached with him at West Alabama, and talked about how he used to go to Florida State practices and watch Deion perform, even as a practice player. Said he was very, very impressive, worked hard, studied film, did everything he needed to do to be a top player. All right, we've got fourth down from the 1-yard line. Should be all day Kinsey here. Wimberly comes back in motion. They fake to Kinsey. They throw it near side. Oh, he short-armed it. Wow. Looked like they wanted to go to the tight end, Jaden Jackson, the 6'2 junior out of Stockton, but the football was short.
Well, it just wasn't a good play call either. When you were 4th and 1 and you were inside the one, and Kinsey got you into the low red zone, and he's been able to take advantage of the Golden Bears defense to the right all day. That's where you go. You feed your guy and let him finish this off.
I'm going to concur with you on that, partner. I give them a full helping of Daquan Kinsey. If I'm not going to make the touchdown, it's going to be with him. Nonetheless, with 1 minute 14 seconds, this Golden Bears team takes over the football at the 1-foot line. Clyde Peter, quarterback keeper, pulls his way up to the 6-yard line. And why not, Tanitra? You stand at 6'2", you're 250 pounds. Why not use that body?
Absolutely. And we talked about the fact that Clark Atlanta made a change at quarterback. That could have been another option for them to let the quarterback roll out and get into the end zone. But a pass just not a good idea there because, again, could have had an opportunity to go in with momentum, maybe get 7 points on the board and slowly get yourself back into this game. And now you find yourself going into halftime, potentially not getting on the board.
Clock still ticking, 35 seconds. Hey, new rule change in case you're wondering. The clock does not stop on first downs until it gets within 2 minutes of play on first downs. There's another rush by Klein, Peter, and it seems as though Sam Shade and this Golden Bears offense content on simply running out the clock. And the clock is down to 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7. You know the drill. 5, 4. Hey, I can count. Look, Mom, I'm counting backwards. And there goes the horn. So, we've reached the midway point of our contest with Miles College with a commanding 28-0 lead over Clark Atlanta. We invite our viewers to hang around for the upcoming halftime show, the Miles College Purple Marching Machine, when we come back. You're watching SISA football on ESPN+. And welcome back to Sloan Alumni Stadium on the campus of Miles College, where the Golden Bears enjoy a 28-0 halftime lead over the Clark Atlanta University Panthers. As we mentioned, time for our halftime show, featuring first the Clark Atlanta Mighty Marching Panthers and then the Miles College Purple Marching Machine. Hope you enjoy it. Welcome back, everybody, on the campus of Miles College. Third period action almost here. Dwayne Walker along with Tanisha Batiste. Hope you are enjoying this afternoon's broadcast, where the Golden Bears of Miles College leading this one 28-0 over the CAU Panthers. Tanisha.
Yeah, and it's interesting because time of possession would tell you that this should be a very competitive game. Clark had the ball for 14 and a half minutes, Miles around 15 minutes, and yet Clark wasn't able to get on the board, primarily because they need to just give the ball to 6.
Speaking of 36, Bivens with the carry from the 3-yard line, and he's going to bring it up to the 38, so a 35-yard return by Bivens. And that's exactly what the CAU Panthers need to do. They need to go from boys to men.
Yeah, you really need to see them take their ground game and push that all the way down the field so they can make a statement, get some momentum coming out of the second half. They've got to get it to Kinsey. 12 carries for 115 yards. He gets them in the low red zone twice, and they can't get it done. Got to be able to finish drives this half.
So this half, the CAU Panthers are going to revert back to their starting quarterback, Andrew Banks, who started it. Heath Williams took over in the second quarter and almost led them to a touchdown, but almost doesn't count. Getting close only counts in the horseshoes and grenades.
Indeed, especially when the other team marches down the field and scores another 7.
They'll have it first down and 10. We'll call it the 39-yard line. Fake to Kinsey. Now they'll throw to the far side. And it is complete. Catching that football looks like Billy Johnson, number 28, getting his first bit of action this afternoon for the CAU Panthers. And as the sun comes down, these numbers will be easier to see. As you're looking at your screen right now, you should see a glare on the field, and that certainly reflects up to our broadcast location. We're actually on the roof here at the stadium. So gain of 5 yards on that play, halfway home to a first down. 2nd and 5 from the 43-yard line. Banks turns and he hands Kinsey. Ooh, he gets hit hard. Taking no prisoners on that play.
Indeed. William Hardy was ready for it because Kinsey had his way going to his right throughout the first half, but looks like Miles maybe making a few adjustments during halftime to be prepared for it.
Small gain on that play. Go ahead, Tanitra, I'm sorry.
And you see everybody, even the secondary, coming up to the line of scrimmage to make sure Quincy doesn't get anything on that play.
Kinsey still in the backfield. Let's see. 3rd down and 3. Pass is complete. It's Wimberly. Ooh, and Wimberly stops on a dime and gets stuck on a dime as well. Why, oh, why did he stop midstream like that? Good stick there by Miles College.
Yeah, Jamarius Brown was ready for that to make sure that didn't turn into a touchdown. And like you said, Banks back in, short pass to the middle. They take advantage of a soft spot in that middle of the field and are able to get on the other side. They are now in Miles territory, Clark is.
17 yards on that play. He's going to look at Jamarius Brown. 1st out and 10. They turn, they hand. And once again, Kinsey on the carry, but this Golden Bears front, they seem pretty intense. They get very good linebacker play. Their linebackers stepping in, filling the holes, doing what they need to do. And I have a couple of stories to pass along to you about some of their linebackers. Making an impact this afternoon has been Carson Pritchett. And if that name sounds familiar, his dad, Stanley Pritchett, played with the Philadelphia Eagles.
And that's pretty impressive because Pritchard is a true freshman and early enrollee for Miles and has been putting in some work today.
Banks is under attack, but he managed to find his tight end on the play. Jaden Jackson comes up with the shoestring catch to advance the football down to the 27-yard line. They're calling it the 29-yard line. Correction. They need 2 more yards for a first down.
Ball now spotted at the Miles College.
Banks will march back into the huddle.
And you really want to see the Panthers move the chain on this particular play. It's a 3rd and 1, and I still think it's one of those where you go for it on a 4th down if you need to. They only had 6 first downs in the first half compared to 16 for Miles.
All right, they're going to hand it to Kinsey. Kinsey, 25. Bounces off a man. Still with the feet going. 20, 15. He could go. 10, 5. Touchdown, Daquan Kinsey. No flags, no fouls. It's a 28-yard jaunt for a touchdown. 7th touchdown on the year for Kinsey.
And sometimes, even if you get pushed back, you got to go to what works for you. A couple plays ago, he got pushed back going to the right. Said, you know what? We're going to reset, send him to the left. He stops there. And like you said, poor tackling on the part of Miles. And he just runs to daylight for the touchdown. Much needed score on the board for Clark Atlanta.
2nd consecutive week, he's had just amazing runs for touchdowns. It was a 30-yarder against Arkansas Pine Bluff last week in which he broke about 5 tackles, spinning and wheeling and dealing in the end zone. And on this occasion, a similar output. Fernando Lobo in for the extra point attempt, and that attempt is through the uprights. So, finally, after roughly 18 minutes of action, 18 minutes and 25 seconds worth of action, the CAU Panthers finally get on the scoreboard. With 11:35 to play in the 3rd quarter, our score, Miles 28, CAU 7. We'll be right back.
Join the HBCU family. You become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
Georgia Power is here with a little reminder of how easy it is to save energy at home. Because it's often as simple as a twist, or as easy as a lift. It could be a little squeeze, or maybe just a pull. These small changes can make a big difference, helping you save energy for the bigger things in life. Visit GeorgiaPower.com for tips and programs to help save energy and money.
HBCUs are anchored by legacy. They nurture the talent and determination of their students and prepare them for a bright future. The Home Depot's Retool Your School program has and still believes in the excellence of HBCUs, committed not just in speech, but through the revitalization and upgrades of the campuses these students call home. Building, planting, tilling the dream, all hearts and countless volunteers on the ground. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
Well, finally, Coach Willie Slater's CAU Panthers, Tenitra, get on the scoreboard after a first half drought.
And they did it in fine fashion. 6 plays, 62 yards, just 3 minutes it took them to get on the board. But it was just what we talked about during halftime, powered by Daquan Kinsey.
I asked Daquan before the ball game, has he had his best game yet? He says, no, not by far. And I said, what would be equivalent to a good game for you? He said anywhere from 15 to 20 carries for close to 200 yards. And already he's at least 145 if you go by my math. I know 115 to begin the 3rd quarter of play. And he added 30 on that touchdown run, so that's at least 145.
Oh, yeah, you do quick math and great math in your head because it is 15 attempts, 150 yards indeed.
Wow, so he's almost there. 5 more carries. Who knows, he might reach that 200-yard plateau.
And they're going to need him to reach that 200 to stay in this game.
All right, there you get a look at the Miles College offense. Jamal Fobbs is their offensive coordinator. I know he wants to respond here. Taking a look at that Golden Bears defensive coaching staff, they weren't too happy with allowing that touchdown pass. First down and 10 from the 35-yard line. There's a carry up to midfield, 15 yards on that explosion play. That's Brandon Hicks on the carry. So as you can see, Tanitra, as the sunlight goes down, the numbers are more easier to see.
Indeed, and it's easier for us to see what we already know, which is that Miles is winning in the trenches like they've been doing all game. So the offensive line builds a nice wall there, and then there's an opening right there to get him to midfield.
And for this offensive line for Miles College, they are pretty much a senior group in the trenches, as you mentioned before. Ty Lauer, who had to sit out last year, Eric Blair, who's been a mainstay, Timothy Robinson, and the list goes on. First down rushing play into CAU territory. Minimal gain, 3 yards by Hicks. And Hicks made his presence felt in the first half. He carried 7 times for 50 yards. So he's halfway to 100, or more than half, I should say now. As a team, believe it or not, Miles only outgained CAU on the ground, 121 to 115. Klein Peters got a man. It looks like Andrews. It is touchdown, Jay Andrews, a 46-yard touchdown pass.
And Dwayne, that's why it doesn't matter if the rushing game is equivalent, because look what Miles is able to do in a matter of seconds. They set up, they're at midfield, and they're going to go with play action that's been working for him all game. Klein Peter with a little step up, and just before that pressure brings a sack, he releases that ball, and Andrews is right there, and he just walks right in.
Klein Peter has certainly done his thing so far in the first half. He was 12 of 6. Oh, that extra point is blocked. Oh, yes. They are certainly excited, and I would if I was you too. Zion Nwokocha, the linebacker, blocks that extra point attempt.
And it may seem like something small, but you need every little win you can get if you're Clark Atlanta right about now.
Let's take a look at this once again. Snap was a little off, and there you see the block. Well, with 10 minutes and 10 seconds to play, the CAU Panthers now trail Miles by a score of 34-7. We'll be right back. And we're back here at Miles College where they've just scored. Didn't connect on the extra point attempt, so they're up 34-7 over the CAU Panthers. As Miles Torres will kick it off. Taken there by Bivens. Bivens, 15-20, 25. And they're going to set the football down at the 29-yard line, it looks like. And that's where the CAU Panthers offense will take over. Let's see if they can get on the board for the second consecutive time. They're going to set that football down at the 27-yard line, so 27 yards on that return. Andrew Banks returns as the quarterback as he has this second half of play. He will redirect the running back. Here's a free play coming. There's the flag. Banks will go for the downs. Looking. Intended for Newsom on the far side of the football field. Can't argue with that play right there. As the quarterback, Andrew Banks, knew he was going to get a free play, so why not go for the gusto? That should be an automatic go pattern. If you see that the flag is going to be on the defense, it should just be automatic. Hey, we're going to take our shot down the field.
Yeah, this is the opportunity for you to do that, and not just because there's a flag on Miles, but you're looking at the score.
Right.
And if you're able to get that ball upfield and decline that penalty, be huge.
1st and 5 after the encroachment by Miles College. Waiting for the snap is Banks. He'll get it. Ooh. Joseph Douglas, shifty moves up to the 40-yard line, up to the 45. So nice piece of running there by Joseph Douglas. And they're going to set that football down at the 43-yard line.
And one of the better runs of Douglas throughout the day, because before this, he had just two attempts and just 2 yards rushing.
11 yards on that carry for Douglas. Got to give the young man credit. He's a 5'8 junior from Columbus, Georgia.
42-yard line. First down, Panthers.
I'm excited to see how Coach Slater and these CAU Panthers respond. Even though they're down 34-7, it's about still trying to score, still trying to give maximum effort. Banks waiting in the shotgun, play action. He looks, he throws. Caught far side of the field by Newsom. Davion Newsom, the 6'3" junior out of Decatur, Georgia, attended Stockbridge High School.
And Clark Atlanta and Banks giving Miles a taste of their own medicine. They've been working play action to perfection this entire afternoon. Now you're seeing a good look for Clark Atlanta. It's play action on that last play.
All right, now we have a couple players checking in for CAU. I see Jaden Jackson in, as well as Kendall Wimberly, the graduate student out of Mays. Speaking of Mays, that's the same school that Andrew Banks attended. And one of his mentors, Cam Newton. Douglas this time gets caught up in the wash, or the spin cycle, I should say, as he was whipped around.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where you can see all the defenders for Miles come up to the line of scrimmage because they sniffed out that play.
No gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. Football at the 46-yard line. 7:52 to play in the 3rd quarter. Banks waiting. Play action over the middle, and it is caught. No, correction. That football hit the turf. Intended for David Martin, the junior receiver out of Detroit, Michigan, but he couldn't come up with the football. And it will bring up 3rd down and 10. Once again, you got to figure 2-down territory here. You're trailing by 27 points.
And you got this ball in Miles territory, so yeah, this would absolutely be fourth down territory for these Panthers.
Just like when Leon Spinks fought Muhammad Ali back in the day, what do you have to lose? That might have been going too far back.
Yes,
perhaps.
he lost me with that one. But it's all good. I get the analogy. Whoa!
That football is picked off, and back the other way they come. Cam Williams on that interception return. Second interception on the year for him. Fourth overall for the team.
And Cam Williams read this the entire way, and it looks like there was a miscommunication with Kadarius Griffin on that play as well.
There's a flag down, though. Let's see what Nathan Pinkert has to say about the infraction. He redropped the flag. I like how he just took it and kind of like,
with authority.
Yeah, well, he kind of like dropped it off.
The mic
saying? Yeah. Now you might have a sandwich or something and get the wrapper off. And you're like, man, I don't want this wrapper. I just cleaned my car. Let me just drop it.
Right. No one will know. So you like that about your car too, Dwayne?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I am too, so I admire that.
Listen, I'm not promoting littering, okay? So I'm not, of course I wouldn't do that. Of course I wouldn't do that. This is all, jokes. All right, let's see if Nathan Pinkert has it together here. And in case you're wondering, I did try to go down and check on our injured official, the umpire that was hurt, John Hefney. Looked like he had an ankle injury, as Nathan Pinkert will explain. So it looks like that Taj Lee, the tight end, committed a personal foul, unnecessary roughness, on the interception return. So the interception will stand for Cam Williams. That's his second of the campaign. And you see Williams there taken down by Newsom. Maybe a little bit of a dangerous play, diving at another player's legs. Certainly don't want that. And nonetheless, the Golden Bears will have the football, first down and 10 at their own 19-yard line, moving left to right with 7:23 to play in the third quarter. Rolling out to the right, Klein Peter. It's going to be complete, near side of the field, and up past the 40-yard line. Abner with that reception, the tight end. And they're going to move that football and set it down at the 43-yard line.
And you'll see some good patience by Abner on that play, which allowed him the chance to get extra yards after the catch.
24 yards on that pass play, longest reception of the year for Abner. Now along the right-hand side they try, and gaining positive yardage is Aaron Frazier. They're going to mark the football. It looks like a first down from my vantage point, but they haven't moved the chains yet. Now they have, advanced the football and set it down at the 47-yard line of Clark Atlanta. First down for the Golden Bears, who are trying to mount another scoring attack. A little hezzy up the middle inside. And they've got some laundry on the field once again. This coming from the back judge. As you see Frazier trying to skip his way through the line there before being tackled at the ankles.
And those are the kind of miscues on defense that Clark Atlanta just can't afford right now.
No way. Can't have it.
Because now Miles is once again in Clark's territory.
So it is my duty to inform you that we have a new quarterback on the scene for Miles College. Ivory Cameron is the new quarterback, the 6'3" 35, 30. Wow, did he lower the boom? Did Aaron Frazier Excellent piece of running there, Tenitra.
You could say down goes Frazier, but that would be in a good way because Frazier didn't go down until he felt like it. And look, when he puts the boom and puts that right shoulder down
to the 20. So let me get this straight. I make a Muhammad Ali reference from back in the day about Leon Spinks and Muhammad Ali, and you come back with down goes Frazier, and I'm supposed to get all excited about that. But that was good, though. That was good. That was good, Tanisha. That was good. That was good, too. A connection to Pollard. Jordan Pollard, and he gets down to the 16-yard line. Wow, 13-yard connection.
And once again, you see, Dwayne, it doesn't matter who the Golden Bears have under center. They'll just pitch. It's like pitch and catch right now for them, and everything's going their way.
Ivory Frazier, who just came into the ball game looking sharp thus far, and that's what you want with your opportunities. Frazier up the middle. And look at how, Tanisha, look at how those numbers are bouncing out. Look how them numbers is jumping right now. Aren't they nice and clear now?
Absolutely beautiful. It's a sight for us to see. People just don't understand. It's the little things in this booth that we love.
They don't.
And our cameraman gives us a little wink and a nod because he knows this is making our jobs much easier.
Frazier in the background. He points out a linebacker. Ivory throws towards the end zone. And it is. They fight for the footballs. Pollard is caught. It's caught for a touchdown. Yes, sirree. Jordan Pollard, the 6'2" graduate student out of Pinson, Alabama.
And Jordan giving his frat a little bit of love, throwing up the hooks for Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
Wow. I got to tell you something. Before the game, Tenitra, I went up to Jordan in his locker. I said, look, man, you got to help a brother out today because I know you wear the yellow sidearms because you did against Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Right.
So now I know whenever I see him, the yellow, I know that it's him.
Right.
So he's the only guy that I knew was going to get right from the get-go.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
All right, so that extra point attempt is through the uprights, and with 4:28 to play in the third quarter, it's all Miles College 41, the CAU Panthers 7. There's a timeout on the field. While we take this timeout, too, you're watching SIAC football on ESPN+. And we're back joined live where the CAU Panthers just received the football after a scoring strike. Ivory to Jordan Pollard for 14 yards. That made the score 41-7, as Nathan Pankers will explain the infraction on the kickoff. Yeah, Coach Sam Shade and the Miles College Bears, they've got to clean up those unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. You can't. I mean, you just can't have it.
Yeah, because
Why?
you're getting good from 36 on the Clark side. He's been really giving them some good field position throughout the day, has Roderick Thomas. But like you mentioned, you can't have those types of infractions from Bivens giving this opportunity for Clark to start this drive at midfield.
And now we have a timeout on the field as the Miles College Golden Bears, they call timeout. With 4 minutes and 28 seconds to play in the third quarter. And we'll just keep it right here, Tanisha, with our score 41-7.
And going back to that last drive, Dwayne, one of the things I liked, which is what you mentioned as well, you give the backup quarterback an opportunity to come into the game and get some good experience, some good reps. And he did an excellent job on that last drive, obviously getting them back into the end zone. So it's when you can get up this far and have this much space and room to kind of play around in the third quarter, that's what you do. And that could be critical for Miles down the stretch.
No question about it. And I believe they counted, we'll double check the scoring on that. I believe they credited that extra point for Miles Torrey. And the score is 41-7. Panthers have it first down and 10 from the 49-yard line. Banks going for the downs. Looking downfield. Oh, wow, there's an interference call, but nonetheless, that football should have been caught. Davion Newsom was the intended receiver, and for all intents and purposes, Tanisha, he drops his football. Yes, he's being draped by the defender. However, it hit his hands.
When the ball hits your hands and the ball hits the numbers, you catch that ball.
No question
Banks
about
put
it.
that ball where it needed to be. He got the protection he needed from the offensive line, had plenty of time to set for that.
Malachi Ogland was covering him like a cheap suit. He was all over him, just blanketing him.
Yeah, that's when you know you're beat. And you just want to make sure, for whatever reason, you think maybe if I drag him, maybe no one will see it.
Right.
Well, yeah, no.
They saw it.
The sun isn't shining in that part of the end zone to the point where the referee can't see it.
So it's a 15-yard penalty. That will advance the football to the 34-yard line of the Golden Bears. Banks waiting for the snap. He will get it. Kinsey up the gut, 35, 25, 20. And he rolls around to about the 20. Let's hope he didn't roll his ankle, as I still see him sitting there.
Speaking of that, good tackle at the ankles by the Golden Bears. Otherwise, he might have been on the daylight.
There you see, he passes to 35, then spins. He has such relentless effort when he carries the football. And finally touched down there at the 26-yard line. First down action, though. Wembley will come out near side of the football field. Banks looking at his wrist. So must be a new play here. Let's see. Kinsey in the backfield off to his right. Play action. Looking for Newsom just out of his reach. Newsom was on that far sideline, being guarded closely by Ogland as we get a look at the replay.
And if you look there.
I'm looking.
So
snap it.
And he snaps it. But it was almost like Banks hesitated just long enough to make his receiver question whether or not that ball was coming to him as well. So just a little bit of a miscommunication there, which could have advanced the chains for the Panthers.
Second down and 10. Anxious to see if the Panthers can get on the scoreboard here, even though it's a big disadvantage right now. Clock still moving. 3:06, 3:05, third down and 9. We're going to have some SIAC results for you coming up here in just a few. Now we see our score here, 41-7. Miles all over CAU. And I know we started this broadcast with a little prime time reference. Similar scores out in Oregon. 42-6 the final. Oh, I probably should know. That's a spoiler alert. I probably shouldn't have said that. So my apologies. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I should have. Forgive me. Before I said that, I should have given some sort of disclaimer, because if you're like me, you recorded the game. You know what I'm saying? But since they lost, you don't really, since Colorado lost, it's like, just put it out.
You're over it,
So my apologies. There's a timeout on the field, but we're going to keep it right here with our score 41-7, Miles College on top of CAU. And listen, I know we were talking earlier, Tanisha, about some of the stories that coaches have shared about their experiences with Deion Sanders. And despite today's loss, he's done a tremendous job. And Coach Sam Shade was sharing a story one time. He was telling me how when he played with the Washington Redskins back in the early 2000s, 2002 or 2003, Deion had joined the Washington Redskins. And they had a team load of stars, Bruce Smith, Champ Bailey, Andre Reed, Darryl Green. The list goes on. And it's the first time that Coach Shade ever wanted to play on special teams. And I'll get to that story more after this, as Banks will fire towards the back of the end zone. And it is. Is that an interception? If it is, that's a tremendous play. Is they going to call it an interception?
Definitely looks like he got his feet in bounds.
LaShawn Young, is that an interception? Still waiting for a ruling. I believe it is. Let's see. No, they're going to call it an incomplete pass.
Yeah, because you could see that the first foot down is on the backside, the white of the end zone.
Right.
Boy, the Panthers are very lucky with that one.
But getting back to that story, so Coach Sam Shade of Miles College, he's playing with the Washington Redskins. He was a starting defensive back. So Deion comes to the team, and when he joins the team, he asked to speak to the team, the special teamers. And Coach Shade said it was the first time he ever wanted to play special teams because Deion walked in the room and said, "Foe for the row." You know what foe for the row means?
I'm sure you're about to tell me.
I am. Foe for the row, he says, man, if he scores 4 touchdowns in the season, he's got a Rolex.
Oh.
So you see when Shedeur flashes his arm like that, the Rolex?
There's
it's
a backstory to
Foe
it.
for the row.
Wow.
Foe
And yeah,
for the row.
Deion was one of the best on special teams, just as good as he was almost on defense. Kind of scary. In fact, he just posted a video on IG a couple days ago talking about his days as a special teams player, as a punt returner, and he said, "I'm second only to the best to ever do it, Devin Hester."
Yeah, oh, yeah. Devin Hester, it's a shame that he's not in the Hall of Fame. Definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. No question about it. That one kind of mystifies me why he's not in. That was Roderick Thomas on that carry for Miles for the Golden Bears. There's a quarterback keeper. And plunging ahead, maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage, is Ivory. And I know we talked about Deion Sanders being I consider him the greatest defensive back ever, especially in the professional ranks. But you know who I would consider one of the greatest of all time as a defensive back? He's actually defensive backs coach for the Miles College Golden Bears. His name is Antonio Langham. Holds the career record at Alabama for interceptions in a season. He was a first-round draft pick for the Cleveland Browns back in the early 90s. And just a stand-up guy, joined this coaching staff of Coach Sam Shade this season, and he's enjoying it. Certainly enjoying it. A couple of his sisters are in attendance for today's game. And he also wanted to give a shout-out to his mom, Deborah, who hasn't been feeling the best in Huntsville, Alabama. So shouts out to Miss Deborah Langham.
Yeah, we definitely send our thoughts and prayers to her. And yeah, you're right. Langham was one of the best to ever do it.
Ever. All right, Ivory. Oh, coast.
That's cold.
Yes.
That was cold.
That was cold as ice.
Yeah.
Ruff.
I love it, Josh.
Josh Ruff.
Josh Ruff.
Josh Ruff got up.
Yeah.
Look at that. Hey, what do they call that? What do you call it? That should be one of the highlights.
Oh, yeah, one of those ESPN top 10s?
Yeah, why not? Why not? They go right back to the young man. Wow, people are still oohing in the stands on that catch by Ruff.
Yeah, that was some kind of play. That was one where if it was a basketball game, that would have been a posterized situation.
No question about it. Watch how he gets up right here. The concentration. Give me that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's saucy.
It's giving basketball. It's giving baseball. It's giving everything in that play.
2nd down and 3. Delayed handoff, finding running room up the gut for the first time. Fells Fells is a guy that ordinarily doesn't carry the football.
Yeah, you've mentioned his name a lot on special teams today, giving the Golden Bears some good field position, and now he's just being a part of that offense that's really just kind of milking the clock a little, gotten us all the way to the end of the quarter.
No question about it. Just the second carry for Fells this season, and that running play concludes the third period of play. There you see Josh Ruff, his teammates coming over, congratulate him. Tanisha, look at those numbers pop off right there.
No,
with our score, Miles 41, CAU 7. We'll be back with the final stanza in just one moment. All right, so the Miles College Golden Bears have the football 1st and 10 at the CAU 23-yard line. Ivory throwing towards the end zone. Receiver may have gotten away with a push. Did Brown there. Looking in the end zone for Christopher Brown. Looked like he pushed off a little bit before grabbing at that football. Timothy Jones, the safety, on the coverage. 2nd down and 10, just 6 seconds gone by in this fourth stanza. Miles College with a commanding 41-7 lead. Dwayne Walker along with Tanisha Batiste. Hope you're enjoying tonight's broadcast. Play action, passes over the middle. Fells sidesteps a man down to the 5, spins into the end zone for a touchdown. 23-yard pass play. Ivy to Fells.
And Fells has done it all this second half. He's been on kick returns, punt returns. He was running. Now he's on the other side of that touchdown. You see right there, it's a play action once again, and Fells is on it. And even while we were in the break, he was directing the band, too. He can just do it all today.
How about it for Fells scoring that touchdown? I know he's running the ball. He had his second carry of the year, and then right there he catches a touchdown. And the extra point is good. So with 14:46 to play in regulation, Miles leads it by a score of 48-7, thanks to a 23-yard touchdown pass, Ivory to Fells. And for Fells, that's his longest reception of the year, which exceeds the 19-yarder. Let's take time out. You're watching SIAC football on ESPN Plus.
HBCUs are anchored by legacy. They nurture the talent and determination of their students and prepare them for a bright future. The Home Depot's Retool Your School program has and still believes in the excellence of HBCUs, committed not just in speech, but through the revitalization and upgrades of the campuses these students call home. Building, planting, tilling the dream, all hearts and countless volunteers on the ground. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
Did you know HBCUs are a great place to network? Yes. Did you know Cricket has a great network with speedy 5G and is a proud supporter of HBCUs?
Yes.
Mia, everybody already knows that.
Dante, did you know this is an A and B conversation? So you need to see yourself at. He knows now.
Welcome back to Fairfield, Alabama, where Miles College has a commanding 48-7 lead over Clark Atlanta. Dwayne Walker here with you, along with myself, Tenitra Batiste. We'll take you around the SIAC, get you up to speed with some scores for Valley State with a 31-9 win over Kentucky State. Allen beats Central State 34-28, Dwayne.
Yeah, and how about David Wright, their quarterback for Allen, who I picked to be the offensive player of the year before the year started. I can't wait to see some of the stats for this young man who missed 2 years ago because of an injury, and glad to see him fight his way back into the lineup and put up the numbers he has for Allen in an undefeated season so far.
Put up some numbers indeed, and Tuskegee in double overtime, 28-22 over Lane. Edward Waters with a beatdown, unfortunately, for Morehouse fans, 44-13, and Benedict with a 31-3 win over Chowan University.
Hey, listen, Tanisha, I think you and I need to take credit for Benedict's run. I mean, it all started a couple years ago when they upset Miles College on this very same field at homecoming, no less. They've been rolling ever since.
I think we should get something similar to royalties.
The football is on the ground. They scramble for it, and it's picked up by the Golden Bears.
This is just one of those games, Dwayne, where everything goes their way. Brennan Melton right there for it's just everything.
Everything is going right. No question about it.
But it was a game where Coach Sam Shade told us that they knew they needed to win in all three phases, and they have dominated in all three phases indeed.
Oh, yes. And Tamarion, the real McCoy, coming up with that football. Look how he gets on the ground and snatches that thing up. Haven't had a lot of turnovers in this game. Second one forced. Look at that. Oh, look at that. The turnover chain. Oh, and the side. Okay. Look at Roosevelt Thompson in on that group. Pick number 19.
That's
doing a little flexing
really
over there.
Big chain, I must say.
Man, that hurt my neck just looking at that chain right there. as the Golden Bears take over the football, they're going to get a steady dose of rushing here. As we're going to get a look at a number of the backups. They'll get their opportunity to shine and take some snaps, and that's young Speed. Speed is actually a veteran on this ball club. We've seen him, Blake Speed, filling a few years back out of Olive Branch, Mississippi. So limited action on the year, but it's nice to see him get involved here. He played in that. He was involved in that game that we did a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's amazing to see just that continued growth that he's had on the field. And I had to pause just then because I felt like a score was coming, and I was absolutely right. Once again, Panthers punching it in.
That was Blake Speed. 49 yards, number 49, carrying that football for what proved to be a 27-yard touchdown.
I think he heard you calling
32-yard touchdown. Yeah, 32 yards. Watch this effort.
And he
gets around the outside, keeps his feet in bounds, protects the football. Watch right here. Look at that. Right in the end zone for a touchdown.
And
Beautiful
that's so critical,
to see.
just understanding the assignment. You have an opportunity to get in this game and get yourself some yards, get an opportunity to play in front of your family and friends. Why not do what you need to do? You're right there at the 36-yard line. You get to the side to give yourself a little room to run. You get a few key blocks there, turn it up straight ahead, and you can sniff the end zone at this point, so you get that protection and once again punch it in.
48-point lead for Miles. Let's take this time out. Welcome back with our score of 55-7. Watch this exchange right here as Carlos Speed hands the football to the official, goes over to the sidelines, and he's being met by his teammates. But watch the humility of this young man as he's getting congratulatory messages and inferences from his teammates. Now watch this. They're trying to coerce him into getting that chain. Go and get that chain, man. Go and get that chain. Watch him. But watch him here. Watch this whole sequence here. They're trying to coerce him into putting on that chain. Watch this. Watch this. Watch the peer pressure. Let's see if he succumbs to it. No, he doesn't. Nah, I'm good. They're trying to get him to put the chain on. He's like, nah, I'm good. They're like, come on, man. I love it. Love the humility.
Right, and you even saw a couple, and we didn't see it in that shot, but a couple of the trainers were trying to get selfies. And he's like, yeah, no, thank you. I'm good here. You got to love that.
Wow. And speaking of our trainers, shouts out to both of our trainers who do such a fine job for both of these clubs. The head trainer over at Clark Atlanta is Vanessa Hale. She does an outstanding job, and she's got a lot of help over there with Dr. Michael in over there, as well as her student assistants, Shannon from Chicago, Danielle from Arizona. Who else? There's the Dean from Philly, and Josiah from California. They do a fantastic job for that C program.
And they haven't had to do too much today, either side, because this has been a pretty clean game just as far as injuries go for both sides.
No question. Talking to Gennaro Scott in the training room for Miles College. Of course, he has to sit this one out with an injury. I know he's itching at the bit to get back into the lineup. Says he should be back next week. All right, Panthers have it. First down and 10. Williams is back in the ball game. He's going to fire one down. It's going to be caught by Newsom. So that's what we've been waiting for all afternoon long. And finally we get a glimpse of what the young man can do. 38-yard pass play.
And an absolutely beautiful toss where really only his receiver can get it. You'll see that the DB was out of position and Panthers made him pay.
And we'll check that. We'll call it 37 yards as they're going to mark it at the 31-yard line. Brennan Melton on that coverage there. Brennan getting some time. Now we're into the second and third liners for each of these teams, which is a good thing because, again, it's all about what you make of your opportunity. Daquan Kensey is in the backfield still for the CAU Panthers. I'm sure they're not going to show any mercy here. Williams under attack, and he is sacked. Yes, sirree. On that tackle is Giovanni Williams. And if that name sounds familiar, he has not one but two brothers that play in the National Football League, both for the New York Jets, Quincy Williams and Quinnen Williams.
And Blake's speed may have been humble, but Williams, not this one. This one's like, yeah, let's dance, let's get it in.
Hey,
when I have an opportunity.
Listen, it's a Saturday. He knows his big bros are watching us right now.
And his big bros are ones that will celebrate a good play, a great play like the one he just made.
Oh, wow. His mom would be proud. Kensey on the carry. Battering through the lineup. And he's finally brought down on the play. Yeah, we mentioned a couple of players. We mentioned Carson Pritchett, whose dad Stanley played in the National Football League. So it's just fantastic to see a lot of these coaches who come back and give back to the kids, and it's nice to see the connections that these kids have, at the next level. Certainly a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, and you and I have had Miles games the last couple of years, and just really nice to see how this program is being built out as well. This is a beautiful campus that alumni have gotten behind, and they always treat us so hospitably when we're here. But it looks like on the field, not so much. Miles isn't too hospitable to Clark Atlanta today.
Williams, speaking of Williams on that carry, Heath Williams, and he's tackled by another Williams, Giovanni. And back to that story about his late mom, Marquisha Henderson Williams. She was a teacher here locally in the Birmingham School District, and she attended Mount Olive Church in Birmingham, and she played such a significant part in the community. So I'm sure she's looking down and proud of her son.
Proud indeed.
4th down and 8 for the CAU Panthers. No, they'd love to get on the board. Heath Williams. He's under duress again, and he's going to be sacked. This time, Quincy Nelms, right there in your screen, coming up with a quarterback sack. So they're just teeing off. No secret here as the CAU Panthers are forced to go to the air.
And Quincy literally just kind of goes up the middle, virtually untouched.
Here's some other action on that play, too. A guy's name who we haven't said too much, Jamichael Rogers, who actually leads the SIAC in sacks coming in with a total of 6. And that's tied amongst the most in D2 football, I might add. So, the Golden Bears will take over the football on downs with 10 minutes and 34 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. And do I see a new quarterback? Wouldn't surprise me if I do. Let's get a number. Certainly got a new ball carrier on that play as Derek Davis gets his first bit of action. And we do have a new quarterback right there, Dexter Scott. This is the part I love. I love when kids get an opportunity that you otherwise would not see because it's their time to shine, and it's all about what you make the most of your opportunity. And then the quarterback on the keeper will keep that football and gain a first down.
Yeah, because as a redshirt sophomore, typically you're not going to get this deep down the depth chart and have that opportunity, but he takes advantage of the opportunity, has a little opening there.
And stumbles ahead for, they're going to give him 8 yards on that carry. So how about it for Dexter Scott, the 6'3" quarterback, the redshirt sophomore from Laurel. Attended Laurel High School. Fresh set of downs for the Golden Bears at the CAU 48-yard line. Off tackle left, staying on his feet. Oh, Derek, what a nice job he did in keeping his balance. Listen, that's why you do those drills as Derek Davis, the 5'8" freshman from Pleasant Grove. Look how he keeps his balance right here. A little spinorama, watch this. Plants his hand right there. That's strength to be able to do that.
And really, you turn what would have been a loss into a couple yards on that first down.
Wow, Zion and Wokacha really had to struggle to get him down. After all that, a gain of 1, Tanisha, I'm sorry.
And I think that's because, Wayne, at this point, you're down 55-7. You've been on the field for so long, you can just see that Panthers defense kind of wearing down.
But if you're getting a good look, you want to take advantage as Davis carries that football off left tackle for positive yardage. And now we're going to have to break him up over there as we're getting a bunch of new faces in the game now. And Davis got enough. No, correction, they're going to move that football back to the 38-yard line. So it's going to bring forth a 3rd down and 6 from the 43-yard line. We've had 3 quarterbacks now for the Golden Bears. They started out with Edwin Klein Peter, who did a remarkable job at the QB spot, throwing for 3, running for 1. He's been quite impressive. And now we've got some shenanigans going on. We want to keep it classy, boys. The score is 55-7. It's a done deal. So now we want to play with class down the stretch here. Don't want anyone getting hurt unnecessarily. And I like the decision. 4th down, they're going to do the punting. Roderick Smith will come in to do the honors. He's standing at the 44-yard line. The football is at the 42. Bivens is back standing on the 10. The rule of thumb here is if the football is kicked over your head, you let it go. There's the boot into the end zone. So it'll end up being a 42-yard punt by Smith. And CAU will yet again try to get on the board. They've scored 1 touchdown so far. They have 7 points to match that jersey number. There he is right there. I got to tell you, Jordan Powell, that's the guy I talked to. I said, hey, man, you're wearing those yellow bands, right? You're going to be the only cat I can tell in the first half. So shouts out to him. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, that was absolutely necessary in the first half. But you powered through, Dwayne, I tell you. That was not an easy call.
Yeah, look, Tanisha, look how they jumping out now. Look at the numbers.
It's actually beautiful. Like, I wish people could see all the beauty that we now see here in the twilight.
In the pageantry. A couple years ago here at Homecoming, it was one of the most incredible scenes I've ever seen in college football, period. That pass is complete to Wimberly over the middle, and he's going to jaunt up to the 35-yard line. 15-yard pass play by Williams to Wimberly.
And Wimberly's actually one of the few Panthers that's had a good afternoon.
Tack on 15 yards to his ledger. And it's 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. 6:26 and ticking in the 4th frame.
And, you know, you talk about the homecoming that we were able to bear witness to from last year. I don't know if you know, on my bucket list is to get to as many HBCU homecomings as possible, so I was able to check that box.
I remember you saying that 2 years ago as you made your rounds.
I have indeed.
Joseph Douglas on that carry as we get a replay as he tried to cut it back up.
And just like we're shouting out the training staffs for both Clark Atlanta and for Miles, got to shout out the entire team here over at Miles. They always treat us so well. They make sure that we're hydrated.
Oh, yeah.
They make sure we've got a little tent to attempt to protect us from the sun.
Yeah.
It's always good coming out to Fairfield.
Yeah. Brian Culver does a nice job. Appreciate Brian looking out for us. James Crenshaw and the rest of the crew. Certainly do appreciate that.
Indeed.
Martin comes in motion. The pass complete. Williams over to Martin, who we just called out. Martin is ran out of bounds at the 46-yard line. So nothing nice as they're playing aggressive. Like I said, for some of these kids who don't see any action, like Truth Daniels, hey, you want to get out there and show what you can do because it all goes on tape, Tanitra.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations, too, where assuming that Miles will win this game and...
Wait, what? Wait.
I don't want
You realize
to count Clark
under.
down.
Wait. You realize
But
we're
you
under
never
4 minutes
know.
to play,
but
and they're down 48.
I know, but I want to be very respectful of the
yes,
Panthers
yes,
faithful.
yes, absolutely.
But should Clark lose this game, then it's one of those situations where maybe they'll get to see some players that can help them to finally get a W at some point during the season. Maybe not tonight, though.
Joseph Douglas on the carry. And Douglas is going to get first down yardage. And there goes one of those penalties that we talked about. After the whistle, we talked about how this Miles College team, it's been an issue here this afternoon. Despite an impressive 55-7 lead so far, they have not been impressive as it relates to the penalties. And Tanisha, before this game, they had a big gathering at the 50-yard line, and both teams are a little bit of jaw-jacking, and they wanted to do the talking on the field. So they're doing it, but that's a little to the extreme, though.
Yeah.
Again, we don't want to get anyone senselessly hurt or injured.
Yeah, especially when this game has, for the most part, been sealed. You don't want to see that happen on either side of the ball.
Here comes the blitz. Williams, they pick it up. They throw it out to the flank, and going down towards the end zone and bumped out of bounds it's Billy Johnson. Johnson near the 10. They're going to mark it at the 11.
And the Golden Bears really haven't blitzed a lot this afternoon, and on that one, the Panthers make them pay. Nice little gain that takes them into the low red zone.
Yes, 20 yards on that pass play as Jeremiah Davis was the guy blitzing from his left defensive back position. Williams waiting in shotgun formation. I know the Golden Bears do not want them to score. Look at the pressure they're bringing. Joseph Douglas on the carry. Douglas moving that pile. Wow, he made a couple of Golden Bears pay. Couple tried to get it in there on this tackle. Jeremiah Jones was one of them. There you see Jones right there taking the brunt of that hit. And then being knocked back a few yards was LaShawn Young.
And that's one of those where the Panthers know that the Bears are lining up trying to stop them from scoring again before this game happens. But, you know, if you have a little bit of pride, you want to punch this ball in just to be able to say, hey, we got one more score.
No question. And you can't give up.
Yeah.
In motion goes Wimberly. Douglas carries. Nothing doing. No way, Jose. Caleb Klein, the first one in there. They don't want to give up nothing. I think it's vitally important to them that they don't score. Watch how Klein skips right there. The defensive tackle gets his hands on Douglas and tries to get him down to the ground.
And a collective effort by that defensive front of Miles saying, hey, if we have anything to do with it, you're not punching it in tonight, not another time.
Damian Hart also sticking his nose in on that play. Now we're approaching 2 minutes and 8 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. There you see, is he under center? He was under center. Did you see that, Tanitra?
And stuffed again.
No, I'm saying the court. Watch
I hear you.
The quarterback is under center. When's the last time you saw a quarterback under center? Last year?
Well, I was going to say it doesn't happen.
Or on a quarterback sneak.
I have to really think.
All right, here we go. Fourth. This takes me back to, again, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Of course, a different situation, however. Omarion. All right, a minute, 28 seconds. Little inside play there. You'd have to have been around a couple years ago to know what that's about. All right, here we go. 4th down and goal. Let's see if Miles College can hold. Panthers looking to get on the board. They option fake, and it's going to be a touchdown. Heath Williams carrying the football into the end zone from 3 yards out.
And when you see something like that, Dwayne, it just kind of stings because it's almost like it's too little too late for the Panthers. You'll see that it's a direct snap to the quarterback, a little bit of a high snap, but he catches that, and then he decides instead of tossing it off to his running back, he'll just take it in himself. And really, that's the kind of play that we should have seen early on when we said, hey, this Panthers call is just a little too cute when you're at 4th and 1 and you're inside of the 1 yard line and you could just punch it in and you decide to throw it. That's the kind of play where I feel like Coach Willie Slater and his coaching staff, they're going to look at that, look back and say, hey, that could have at least kept this game more competitive in that first half.
No question about it. No question about it as we get a look at Heath Williams, the transfer out of Tennessee State, fresh off the portal. He puts his team on the board. The score is 55-14. Welcome back, everybody. 1 minute and 11 seconds to play in this one. 55-14 our score. And it's been all, except for this last play here, all Miles College.
Everywhere you look, whether you're looking at first downs, rushing yards initially at the half were pretty similar, but then, or consistent, but then rushing yards, Miles just kind of went out. 171 for Clark Atlanta, 256 for Miles total. And that's where they started to really separate. And of course, it was really in the passing game. And taking into consideration, we talked about this pregame, the fact that Clark Atlanta did have 3 of its primary receivers out due to injury. 2 receivers and a tight end went out in the first game of the season playing Kentucky State. 1 player, Coach Slater told us, took out 3 of his pass catchers, and then in that second game, another one went down. So in all fairness, they really didn't have all of their weapons on the field today, but you have to play who you can put on the field.
Hey, next man up, because Miles College, they went through the same thing last year and ended up with a 1-9 record, but they did finish the season strong in a double overtime loss to Tuskegee University. So, but since then, I mean, Sam Shade has this Miles College program definitely in the right direction. And they called the penalty against Miles College. I don't know if perhaps, did they huddle when they got to the field? They may have double huddled.
That would probably be the one area where Coach Shade will have some commentary for his boys later on tonight, because they had 6 penalties on the night for 70 yards, and that's the one area where I think he'll probably have something to say. He should be pleased at every other area, because everything from third down efficiency to protecting the ball, they're good.
All right, well, the clock is winding down with 48, 47 seconds, 46. And we're going to have a quick wrap after this one. We'll go ahead and just recap this one for you. Listen, it all started with Edwin Kleinpeter's 16-yard run to put Miles up 7-0. They answered right back with another Kleinpeter to Deontez White 38-yard touchdown pass to make the score 14-0. Then Kleinpeter threw to Kevin Robertson, the tight end, for 24 yards. His first touchdown of the year made the score 21-0. Then a little trickery. Aaron Fraser on the double pass finds Jay Andrews from 28 yards out to make the score 28-0. Then in the second half, Daquan Kinsey gets on the board for CAU. 28-7 was the score. Kleinpeter answers back to Jay Andrews, his second touchdown reception of the game, a 47-yard effort to make the score 34-7. New quarterback, Ivory, comes in and hits Jordan Pollard from 14 yards out to make the score 41-7. Then Ivory connects again, this time to Jaquel Fells from 23 yards out, 48-7 the score. Blake Speed gets in on the rushing attack, a 32-yard effort, 55-7. And then to end the scoring, Heath Williams in the fourth quarter late, a 3-yard touchdown that gives CAU their 14th point of the game. So, with no more time left on the clock, our final score: the Miles College Golden Bears 55, the CAU Panthers 14. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Tenitra Batiste, want to say anything, Tenitra?
Yeah, it has absolutely been a thrill to have a chance to broadcast with you and to see that
Likewise.
Sam Shades, everything he told us, he wanted to see. Wanted them to win the turnover battle. 2 interceptions, a fumble loss. They got what they wanted. Down 14-0 in the last 2 games. He wanted to start fast. They go into halftime 28-0 and take command of this game and never look back.
Well, all right. So, with our final score, 55-14. Check us out on ESPN Plus, as all contests are streamed on the ESPN Plus platform. Good night, everybody.